Booking a cruise based on brand name alone is one of the most expensive assumptions in travel today. 6 major cruise lines have documented measurable declines in passenger satisfaction since 2022. Not based on opinion, based on J.D. Power satisfaction data, cruise critic review sentiment shifts, verified earnings call disclosures, and repeat passenger retention rates that have dropped across all 6 lines in the post-pandemic period. The booking mistake that costs passengers the most is not choosing the wrong destination. It is reboarding a cruise line based on a 2019 experience without accounting for the operational restructuring that happened between 2020 and 2024. The product has changed. The pricing structure has changed. The staffing model has changed. The loyalty benefit has changed. The base fare has not gone down. A passenger who sailed Norwegian Cruise Line in 2018 and books again today based on that experience is booking a structurally different product. NCL expanded its fleet capacity significantly after 2021 without a proportional increase in crew hiring. The result is a measurable reduction in service frequency across standard cabin categories, not a perception issue, an operational ratio issue. That is the framework for this entire video. 6 lines. 6 documented trust problems, each one tied to a specific booking decision that either protects a passenger or costs them, in money, in experience quality, or in both. Comment where you're watching from and tell us which of these lines you've already booked or are considering, because the trust issues are not uniform, and your itinerary type determines which risk hits you hardest. The 6 lines covered here are Norwegian Cruise Line, MSC Cruises, Carnival Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean International, Princess Cruises, and Holland America Line. The evaluation timeframe is 2023 through 2025, based on operational patterns that are currently active, not historical anomalies. The criteria used to evaluate each line are specific: crew-to-passenger ratio changes, food and beverage quality regression, fee expansion against an unchanged base product, itinerary reliability measured by port cancellation frequency, cabin maintenance complaint volume, and loyalty program. Benefit devaluation. The order in this video moves from moderate trust erosion to the most structurally significant decline. Each line introduces a different category of risk. Once a risk category appears, it does not reappear. Every segment is a new decision dimension. The data sources anchoring each assessment include BEB complaint volume trends, cruise critic review analysis, second earnings call disclosures on cost structure changes, and United States Public Health Inspection records where applicable. Holland America Line. Trust issue, loyalty program devaluation, and demographic mismatch marketing. The issue with Holland America Line is a direct reduction in the financial value of its loyalty program without a corresponding reduction in fare pricing. HAL's Mariner Society loyalty program was restructured in 2023. The practical result: passengers with 200 or more sailing days, the highest engagement tier in HAL's repeat passenger base, saw their per-sailing benefit package drop from an equivalent value of approximately $400 to under $180 per sailing. Free internet minutes were cut from upper tiers. Onboard credit allocation was reduced. The tier classification remained in name. The value attached to that tier did not. This is a moderate to high trade-off for any passenger using accumulated Mariner Society status as a financial justification for choosing HAL over a competitor. The mathematics no longer support the same conclusion they did pre-2023. The location of the conflict is not a deck or a venue. It is the guest services desk on sea days, where the volume of loyalty-related disputes increased following the restructuring. Passengers arriving on board with an expectation of benefits printed on an older Mariner Society summary are receiving a different set of benefits in practice. The discrepancy is documented in post-sailing reviews across multiple ships in the fleet. The booking trigger is simple. A passenger with existing Mariner Society status at Gold Tier or above who uses that status to justify a premium price decision is making a calculation based on an outdated benefit structure. The prevention rule is equally direct. Before booking any HAL sailing, request the current Mariner Society benefit sheet in writing from the booking agent or directly from HAL. Do not rely on the benefit level from a prior sailing. Compare the current dollar equivalent value of the benefits attached to the booked fare tier against a comparable itinerary on Celebrity Cruises or Princess Cruises at the same price point. If the HAL fare is higher and the adjusted benefit package no longer closes the gap, the price premium is not supported. HAL's per diem pricing has not decreased proportionally to the benefit reduction. Passengers are paying rates consistent with the 2019 product and receiving a 2024 reduced perk product. The brand positioning has not shifted to reflect the loyalty erosion. This is not a reason to avoid Holland America categorically. HAL's itinerary programming, particularly Alaska, Pacific Northwest, and longer duration voyages, remains differentiated. For a first-time HAL passenger with no loyalty expectation and no benefit calculation built into the fare decision, the line presents acceptable value on itinerary-specific sailings. The problem is concentrated entirely in the repeat passenger segment that is using accumulated status as a financial variable. Severity level: moderate trade-off for loyalty-driven repeat bookers. Minor inconvenience for first-time passengers with no accumulated status. Measurable impact: up to $220 per sailing in benefit value lost at the 200-day Mariner tier, not disclosed proactively at the point of booking. Book HAL if itinerary selection is the primary driver and loyalty benefits are not part of the financial calculation. Avoid HAL if Mariner Society status is being used to justify a fare premium over a comparable competitor. Princess Cruises. Trust issue: MedallionClass technology failure rate and dining reservation system breakdown. Princess Cruises has built its current product identity around the Ocean Medallion system, a wearable device and companion app designed to manage cabin access, dining reservations, onboard purchases, and service requests. The trust erosion here is structural, not cosmetic. The Ocean Medallion app has a documented failure pattern on multiple ships including Discovery Princess and Enchanted Princess across 2023 and 2024. App crashes, dining reservation conflicts generated by the system itself, and cabin door authentication errors have been logged in sufficient volume to appear consistently in post-sailing passenger reviews and in Princess Cruises' own customer service response patterns. These are not isolated incidents on a single sailing. The onboard consequence is specific. Princess's dining model on MedallionClass ships routes passengers through app-based reservations for main dining room seating. When the app underperforms due to ship Wi-Fi bandwidth constraints, server-side failures, or device compatibility issues, passengers lose reservation access. Walk-up availability at the main dining room has been eliminated on most MedallionClass vessels because the system assumes full app functionality. Passengers without working reservations are redirected to buffet or specialty dining. Specialty dining carries a per-cover charge. This is where the fare tier conflict becomes a direct financial issue. Princess's Premier Package, which is the top-tier fare bundle on most sailings, is priced at a premium of $60 or more per person per day above the base Princess Plus fare. That premium is justified primarily through specialty dining inclusions, premium beverage access, and Wi-Fi. If the app that controls access to those inclusions is functioning below standard, the $60 per day premium produces partial value delivery. The cost is not refunded for app-related service failures. The booking trigger is selecting a Princess Premier Package fare on a MedallionClass ship without verifying current app functionality status or without booking a cabin category that bypasses app dependency. That bypass exists. Reserve Collection cabin categories on Princess ships include dedicated reserve class dining, a separate dining room operation not dependent on app-based reservation management. Reserve Collection dining operates with guaranteed seating during standard dining hours for passengers in that cabin tier. It functions independently of Ocean Medallion app performance. The prevention rule: on any Princess MedallionClass sailing, either book Reserve Collection cabin category to access app-independent dining, or verify the current Ocean Medallion App Store rating and the most recent dated passenger reviews before committing to a Premier Package fare. If the app rating has declined from prior periods or recent reviews cite reservation failures, treat the Premier Package as a partial value purchase and price it accordingly against competitors. The structural problem Princess has created is that it marketed the medallion system as a seamless convenience differentiator. When ship Wi-Fi bandwidth, which is a physical infrastructure constraint that varies by ocean position and satellite availability, cannot support real-time app requests across 3,500 or more simultaneous passengers, the system converts marketed convenience into scheduled frustration. The amenity is real. The reliable delivery of the amenity is not guaranteed by the fare tier. Severity level: high-impact booking error for premier package passengers on high-occupancy sailings. Moderate trade-off for passengers in reserve collection cabin categories. Measurable impact: $60 or more per person per day in fare premium with conditional access to the product purchased. Book Princess Premier if reserve collection cabin category is included in the fare selection. Avoid Princess Premier fare on standard balcony or interior categories if dining access reliability is a primary expectation. MSC Cruises. Trust issue: tiered loyalty favoritism and service access stratification on megaships. MSC Cruises operates a two-tier onboard service model that is visible at the operational level and has a direct impact on the experience quality of passengers, not in the upper fare or loyalty. Categories: MSC's Voyagers Club loyalty program assigns priority access to a range of onboard functions, including boarding lanes, restaurant seating queues, and service attention based on tier status, Black Card being the highest. On MSC's largest ships, specifically MSC Seashore and MSC Scape, both carrying over 5,000 passengers, this tiered access system creates a measurable service disparity between loyalty tier passengers and first-time or low-tier passengers. The documented friction is specific. Non-loyalty passengers on peak season Caribbean sailings on these ships report extended wait times at specialty restaurant queues, guest services desks, and embarkation processing. These are not random delays. They are structural outcomes of a queue prioritization system that routes loyalty members and premium fare passengers ahead of standard fare passengers at every service touchpoint. MSC does not disclose this operational hierarchy prominently at the point of sale. A first-time MSC passenger booking a Fantastica or Bella Experience category, which are the entry-level and mid-level fare tiers, is entering the bottom of a service prioritization structure without that being the framing used in booking communications. The fare tier structure is the booking trigger. MSC sells 4 primary experience categories: Bella, Fantastica, Aurea, and Yacht Club. Bella is the base. Fantastica adds minor perks. Aurea includes dedicated sundeck access, a la carte specialty dining, and a beverage package. Yacht Club is a fully enclosed premium enclave with a private pool, dedicated dining room, butler service, and a separate embarkation process. The price difference between Fantastica and Aurea averages $400 to $900 per person on a 7-night Caribbean sailing. The price difference between Aurea and Yacht Club is substantially higher. On MSC ships carrying over 4,500 passengers, Aurea is the minimum fare category that delivers consistent, prioritized access to the core amenities in the marketed product. Below Aurea, passengers are operationally deprioritized at service touchpoints on high-occupancy sailings. The prevention rule: on any missed sailing aboard Seashore, Seascape, or ships in the World Class above 4,500 passenger capacity, book Aurea Experience Minimum if specialty dining access, sundeck use, and standard length service queues are part of the expectation. Do not book Bella or Fantastica on peak season sailings and expect equivalent access. On smaller MSC ships operating European itineraries, the tiered impact is less operationally significant due to lower total passenger density. MSC Yacht Club is, structurally, a ship within a ship. It operates with a gated entry area, private outdoor deck, and service standards that are genuinely distinct from the rest of the ship. Passengers booking Yacht Club are purchasing a product that functions as advertised. The problem is that MSC's brand marketing applies a uniform quality implication to all experience categories, and the onboard reality does not reflect that uniformity on the largest ships. Severity level: high-impact booking error for Bella and Fantastica passengers on megaships during peak sailings. Minor inconvenience for Aurea passengers. No trust issue for Yacht Club passengers. Measurable impact: Service queue wait time increases of 20 to 45 minutes at peak service periods on high-occupancy sailings for non-priority tier passengers, verified through passenger review patterns. Book MSC if Aurea or Yacht Club fare tier is within budget on a megaship sailing. Avoid Miss Bella and Fantastica on Caribbean sailings above 4,500 passenger capacity if service access expectations match the brand's marketing presentation. Carnival Cruise Line. Trust issue. Incremental fee expansion eroding the value proposition. Carnival Cruise Line built its market position on inclusive value at an accessible price point. That positioning is now structurally misaligned with the actual total cost of a Carnival sailing. Since 2022, Carnival has added or increased fees across a specific set of services that were previously included in the base fare or priced materially lower. Room service delivery moved from complimentary to a $5 per order fee. The bottomless bubble soda package price increased. Specialty dining surcharges were introduced or raised at branded venues including Guy's Pig and Anchor and Rudy's Sea Grill. Venues that were previously positioned as casual, accessible alternatives to the main dining room. Each individual fee increase is modest. The compound effect across a 7-night sailing for a family of 4 is not. A family that uses room service twice, purchases non-included beverages outside a package, and eats at a branded specialty venue more than once encounters $150 to $300 in incidental charges not visible at the time of booking. This estimate is based on published current pricing across these categories and assumes conservative usage. The structural problem is that these fees do not reflect an upgraded product. The venues, the food quality, and the service frequency have not changed materially. The fee additions represent margin recovery on an existing product, not investment in an improved one. The booking trigger is selecting a Carnival base fare and treating it as a total cost, which is how the brand historically positioned it, and how many passengers still interpret it based on pre-2022 experience. Carnival's FunHub app allows passengers to purchase add-on packages before boarding. Drink packages, specialty dining credits, and Wi-Fi are all available at pre-cruise pricing. At sea pricing for the same packages is higher. The pricing asymmetry is not communicated during the booking process. Passengers who don't use the pre-cruise planner to purchase these packages before boarding pay the higher on-ship rate. The prevention rule is two-step. First, before booking any Carnival sailing, use the pre-cruise planner to itemize the exact cost of every onboard service that matches the intended use pattern, drinks, dining, Wi-Fi, room service frequency. Add gratuities, which are charged daily at a fixed per-person rate. Calculate the total. Second, compare that total against a Norwegian Cruise Line or Royal Caribbean sailing on the same itinerary with an all-inclusive or bundled package fare. Carnival's total cost, after add-ons, frequently approaches or matches competitors that include those services in a bundled fare. Carnival remains a structurally sound choice for passengers whose primary satisfaction driver is itinerary access and port time. Passengers who eat primarily in the included main dining room, do not purchase beverage packages, and use the ship mainly as transportation between ports. For that passenger profile, the fee additions are low impact. The trust erosion is concentrated in the segment of passengers who purchased Carnival for an onboard experience expectation that the current pricing model no longer delivers at the base fare level. Severity level, moderate trade-off for light onboard spenders. High-impact booking error for passengers expecting the 2019 inclusive value model at the 2024 base fare price. Measurable impact. $150 to $300 in unbudgeted incidental fees per sailing for a family of 4 with average onboard usage patterns. Book Carnival if port-heavy itinerary and included main dining room is the primary use pattern. Avoid Carnival base fare if onboard dining variety, drink access, and service amenities are a satisfaction driver. Calculate total cost first. Royal Caribbean International. Trust issue. Oasis class and Icon class venue capacity failure during peak periods. Royal Caribbean's largest ships, the Oasis class and the Icon class, which includes Icon of the Seas, carry between 5,400 and 7,600 passengers depending on configuration. The trust issue here is not a policy change or a loyalty program adjustment. It is a physical capacity design problem that is observable on every peak season sailing. The specific failure point: onboard amenities on Icon-class ships, including the Flowrider surf simulator, the ice skating rink, and the main pool deck, operate on reservation or sign-up systems. These systems reach capacity before 9:00 am on sea days during peak Caribbean sailings. A passenger who boards expecting open access to the amenities that Royal Caribbean markets in its advertising, and which partially justify the fare premium on these ships over smaller class vessels, is encountering a rationed access system that converts advertised amenities into scheduled obligations. This is structurally predictable. A ship carrying 7,600 passengers has a Flowrider with the same physical capacity it had on the 5,400-passenger Oasis of the Seas, which launched in 2009. The ratio of amenity units to passengers has declined as ship size has increased. Royal Caribbean's marketing has not adjusted to reflect this. The cabin selection dimension adds a direct financial risk. On Icon-class ships, the ship is divided into residential neighborhoods including Central Park, Boardwalk, Pool and Beach Club, and several others. Balcony cabins in the Boardwalk neighborhood face the ship's internal entertainment midway, an open-air space with live music, crowd activity, and PA system audio. Balcony cabins in Central Park face an interior garden area that generates significantly lower ambient noise. The fare differential between a Boardwalk balcony and a Central Park balcony ranges from $200 to $400 per person on most sailings. The booking trigger is selecting a balcony cabin category on an Icon or Oasis class ship without specifying the neighborhood. When a passenger books balcony without a neighborhood designation, Royal Caribbean's reservation system assigns available inventory. On high-demand sailings, available inventory skews toward Boardwalk because Central Park and Ocean View balconies are selected first by passengers who research cabin placement. A passenger who does not research this ends up paying balcony pricing for a cabin that faces a noise-generating entertainment venue. The prevention rule: on any Oasis class or Icon-class ship, select the cabin neighborhood explicitly at booking, Central Park or pool deck facing balconies for lowest ambient noise. Do not accept an unspecified balcony assignment on these ships. For amenity access on sea days, register for Flowrider and ice skating within the first 24 hours after the ship departs port. Registration typically opens at departure. Waiting until the morning of a sea day results in a fully booked schedule. The broader booking conflict, Icon of the Seas and similar ships, are marketed on amenity volume. The operational experience is amenity scarcity management. These are not the same product. For passengers who plan every sea day activity in advance and treat the ship as a destination, specifically families with children who will use the water park, ropes course, and entertainment venues systematically, the ship delivers on its design intent. For passengers who expect the freedom to decide on the day how to use a sea day, the access rationing is a structural incompatibility. Severity level: high-impact booking error for passengers selecting Boardwalk neighborhood balconies without researching cabin placement. Moderate trade-off for passengers on Icon class expecting spontaneous amenity access. Measurable impact: $200 to $400 per person fare exposure for Boardwalk balcony cabin selection versus Central Park equivalent. Sea day amenity wait times exceed 3 to 4 hours for walk-up Flowrider access when pre-registration is missed. Book Icon or Oasis class if all sea day activities are pre-planned and Central Park or ocean-facing balcony category is selected at booking. Avoid this class if spontaneous sea day access or quiet balcony use are primary expectations. Norwegian Cruise Line. Trust issue: free at sea package devaluation and service staff ratio reduction. Norwegian Cruise Line represents the most structurally significant trust erosion of the 6 lines in this analysis. 2 separate problems operate simultaneously and compound each other: a fare packaging deception built into the primary promotional mechanism, and a measurable reduction in service delivery density across standard cabin categories. Starting with the free at sea package, Norwegian markets this promotion as a value bundle that includes specialty dining, a beverage package, shore excursion credits, and Wi-Fi. It is the primary promotional mechanism NCL uses to drive bookings and functions as the central decision accelerator in its sales funnel. The package is framed as added value on top of a cruise fare. In practice, it functions as fare inflation with selective benefit delivery. The specific devaluation mechanism, specialty dining credits included in the Free at Sea package cover a fixed dollar amount per cover, currently between $20 and $30 per person depending on the sailing. NCL specialty restaurants, including Cagney's Steakhouse, Le Bistro, and Food Republic, now average $39 to $59 per person per dining experience. The passenger pays the overage above the included credit at the at-sea rate, which is the full menu price. This gap is not disclosed prominently during the booking or package selection process. The result, a passenger who selects specialty dining as one of their 5 Free at Sea inclusions and attends 3 specialty dinners during a 7-night sailing pays $9 to $29 per person in overage charges per dinner. For 2 passengers, that is $54 to $174 in out-of-pocket costs directly against the included benefit they selected. The word free in the package name carries no operational accuracy. The same analysis applies to the shore excursion credit. The included credit amount, typically $50 per port per person, does not cover the cost of most Norwegian-operated or partner excursions on Caribbean or Mediterranean itineraries, which range from $89 to $350 per person. The credit reduces the cost. It does not eliminate it. And it creates a psychological anchoring effect that makes passengers less likely to book independently, where the same excursion is frequently available at 40 to 60% lower cost from local operators. The beverage package inclusion is the strongest value component of Free at Sea, but only if the passenger's daily consumption justifies the package break-even, which typically requires 5 to 6 standard drinks per day. For passengers who drink below that threshold, the beverage package generates no net savings, regardless of how it is framed. The prevention rule for Free at Sea, before booking, calculate the actual dollar value of each included element at current onboard pricing. Assign 0 value to any element where the inclusion only covers a portion of the real cost unless the out-of-pocket remainder is acceptable at full price. If the beverage package is the only component that generates genuine savings, evaluate NCL's fare against a competitor at a similar price point that includes a full beverage package without an inflated base fare attached. The second and more operationally significant problem is crew-to-passenger ratio. Norwegian expanded its fleet capacity substantially in the 2021 to 2023 period. Norwegian Prima launched in 2022. Norwegian Viva launched in 2023. Both carry over 3,100 passengers. Fleet-wide capacity additions were not matched by proportional crew hiring, a cost management decision that is directly reflected in post-2023 onboard review data for standard cabin categories. The specific regression points documented across Prima and Viva class ships, cabin steward service reduced from twice daily to once daily as standard across most sailings. Bar service response times on pool deck and public areas increased. Guest services desk queue times on sea days extended relative to pre-2022 NCL baseline reviews. This regression is not uniform across the fleet. Norwegian's Haven, the ship within a ship premium enclave present on most NCL vessels, maintains its service density. The Haven has a dedicated restaurant, pool area, sun deck, concierge team, and butler service that operates independently from the broader ship's service infrastructure. Post-2023 review data for Haven passengers does not reflect the same service decline as standard cabin reviews. The service erosion is concentrated outside the Haven across all documented metrics. The booking implication is precise. A passenger booking a standard balcony or ocean view cabin on a Norwegian Prima class or Viva class ship based on pre-2022 NCL reviews is entering a different operational product. The positive reviews that inform that booking decision describe a service model that no longer exists in standard cabin categories. The avoidance path has 2 options. Option 1. Book the Haven on any NCL ship where the Haven is present. The service model in the Haven is consistent with pre-2022 NCL standards. The price is substantially higher, typically $1,000 to $2,500 per person above standard balcony fare on a 7-night sailing. Option 2. Evaluate a direct competitor at the standard balcony price point. At the equivalent of NCL's current standard balcony fare on Prima or Viva, Celebrity Cruises' standard balcony product on Edge-class ships, which maintained its service staffing model more consistently through the same period, presents a more accurate value match. The free-at-sea package and the crew reduction are not independent problems. The package creates a perception of value that makes the fare appear competitive. The crew reduction means the onboard product does not deliver the service depth that the fare and the marketing imply. Together, they represent the most significant gap between purchased expectation and delivered experience in this analysis. Severity level: high-impact booking error for standard cabin passengers using free-at-sea as a financial decision variable. High-impact booking error for passengers reboarding NCL based on pre-2022 service experience. No material trust issue for the Haven passengers. Measurable impact: free-at-sea specialty dining credits generate a per-cover gap of $9 to $29 per person at current menu pricing. Service frequency reduction in standard cabins is documented across a measurable volume of post-2023 reviews on Prima and Viva class ships. Book NCL if the Haven fare is within budget and service quality consistency is a requirement. Avoid NCL standard cabin fare on Prima or Viva class if service frequency or dining value are primary satisfaction drivers. And calculate free-at-sea value at current onboard pricing before treating the package as a savings mechanism. 6 lines. 6 different trust problems. None of them require avoiding the line entirely. All of them require a specific booking adjustment. Here is the decision framework, applied directly. If service consistency and staff-to-passenger ratio is the primary satisfaction driver, avoid Norwegian Cruise Line standard cabin categories on Prima and Viva class ships. Book the Haven if NCL is the preference, or evaluate Celebrity Edge class at the same price point. If dining access reliability is the primary driver, avoid Princess Cruises Premier package fare on standard cabin categories on MedallionClass ships. Book Reserve Collection cabin category on Princess, or evaluate a competitor whose dining access does not depend on app performance. If fare value transparency against the advertised product is the priority, itemize Norwegian's free-at-sea package at current onboard pricing before booking. Treat Carnival's base fare as a starting cost, not a total cost. And calculate add-ons before comparing fares across lines. If traveling on MSC Cruises on a ship above 4,500 passenger capacity, book Aurea Experience Minimum. Bella and Fantastica fares on Caribbean megaship sailings place passengers at the lowest service priority tier. That is not a perception, it is the published operational structure of the tiered loyalty and experience system. If booking a balcony on Royal Caribbean's Oasis or Icon class, specify the cabin neighborhood at booking. Central Park balconies, not boardwalk. And pre-register for flowrider and ice skating within 24 hours of departure, not the morning of a sea day. If Holland America loyalty status is part of the fare justification, request the current Mariner Society benefit sheet in writing. Compare the dollar equivalent value of the current benefit package against a Celebrity or Princess itinerary at the same price point before depositing. The safest booking path across all 6 lines: price the total cost, not the base fare. Identify the specific operational model of the ship class being considered, not the brand's general reputation. Verify that the loyalty or package benefit being used to justify a fare decision reflects current policy, not 2019 policy. The highest risk booking path: rebook based on brand loyalty without checking what changed in the product between the last sailing and today. That assumption is the one that costs the most. If this analysis identified a specific issue with a line currently under consideration, the next video covers which ship classes on these same lines still deliver consistent value, so there is a full picture available before a deposit is made. Subscribe to make sure that video reaches the feed when it publishes.